You know, we've all heard those famous words, let there be light. But what if I told you that in Jewish mysticism, that phrase isn't just a simple command? No way. It's the moment a silent potential universe was literally spoken into existence. It's the activation code for the entire cosmos. So in this explainer, we are diving deep into the Zohar to unpack the incredible secret of the very first word.
All right, let's just look at the verse itself. On the surface, it's probably one of the most famous lines ever written, right? But the Zohar, which is the foundational text of Jewish mysticism, it tells us this is so much more than just a statement. This is the activation key. This is the moment a silent, potential universe gets spoken into revealed existence. This is the story of the first word.
So, here's the journey we're about to take. We're going to start in the silence, with the entire universe just existing as one single, unexpressed thought. Then, we're going to witness that kind of cataclysmic moment when that thought is spoken into being. We'll break down the mechanics of how that even works, uncover the secret of the incredible light it created, and finally, see how this one act established a whole new operating system for reality itself.
Okay, so before let there be light, what was actually there? Well, the Zohar describes this state of pure, silent, unified potential, a state that literally contains everything, but with nothing yet defined or separated out. This state is called klal. You can think of it like the complete idea for an epic novel that exists in the author's mind before a single word is ever written down. All the characters, all the plot twists, the settings, they're all there, but they exist as one unified, undifferentiated concept. It's total potential, completely concealed.
Now, the opposite of klal is prat, and prat is the moment of detail, of differentiation. It's when that author finally writes the first sentence, defining a specific character or a specific place. It's the act of pulling one single concrete detail out of that general abstract whole. And believe it or not, this shift from klal to prat is the fundamental engine of creation.
So this is the primordial state, The entire universe with all its mind-boggling future complexity existed as a silent divine thought, what the Zohar calls machshava. Just try to imagine an immense, perfectly ordered architectural blueprint holding every single detail of creation, just hanging there, waiting for the command to begin construction.
And now we get to the pivot point, the dramatic moment where everything, and I mean everything, changes. This is the first explicit act of divine speech in the story of creation, and that distinction between thought and speech is absolutely crucial.
The Zohar asks this incredibly powerful question. Look, creation was already happening, right? The heavens and the earth were already formed. So why does the Torah use the word vayomer, and he said, for the very first time right here with the creation of light? It has to mean that the previous acts of creation happened through some other unspoken mechanism.
And here it is. This is the core distinction the Zohar makes. The earlier, silent acts of creation happened by what's called ma'amar, a silent internal decree. Think of it as a thought that has the power to create, but it remains completely hidden. But with light, something new happens. Creation is now by vayomer, an external, revealed saying. This is that critical shift from a silent internal process to an external, expressed reality.
The Zohar gives us this incredible metaphor to explain it. It says the process was like a birth happening inside a hidden, supernal palace. The conception, the gestation, that was the ma'amar, it all happened in total silence, completely concealed. But the very moment the offspring emerged into the world, it was accompanied by a voice, a sound that could be heard outside. That sound, that is vayomer.
Okay, so to help us really get a handle on these mystical mechanics, commentators on the Zohar give us this framework that honestly feels surprisingly modern. It breaks down how a silent code builds into a living, breathing cosmos.
So the process unfolds in three key stages. First, you've got machshava, the silent thought. This is the universe's source code, perfect, complete, but it's not running yet. Next up is kol, the voice or the signal. You can think of this as the compiling process. It's the raw energy wave that carries the information from the hidden realm out into the open. And finally, you get dibor, articulated speech. This is the live program, the fully rendered reality where that hidden code becomes an active, observable experience.
Let's frame this with a couple of modern analogies, just to make it stick. For all the engineers out there, think of the silent thought, machshava, as a process running on a hidden infinite server. The saying, vayomer, is like the API call that crosses the firewall, turning that hidden process into an external, observable output. Or, for the gamers, imagine a secret level design document. It's got every detail of a world, but it's just data. Viomer is the command code that renders that world on screen for the very first time.
So what was the first thing this reality-rendering word actually produced? Light. Okay, but the Zohar is crystal clear. This was no ordinary light. Not even close. This was a unique spiritual illumination with some pretty incredible properties. And it's known as the HaGanuz, or the hidden light.
And just listen to how the Zohar describes this light. This wasn't just about illumination. This was a light so powerful that it allowed the first human, Adam, to perceive the entirety of reality, from one end of the universe to the other all at once. This has nothing to do with physical sight, you see. It was about a deep, profound, spiritual perception of the fundamental unity of everything.
Now, this special light, it wasn't really meant for a world that was going to become disconnected and broken. After being perceived by these towering figures like Adam and Moses and King David, the Zohar explains that God saw that future generations might misuse it, so he hid it. It's now reserved for the righteous in the world to come. But here's the kicker. It's not entirely gone. A tiny sliver, just a thread of this primordial light, is said to be what continues to sustain our entire existence, even today.
And this brings us to the grand synthesis, the big finale. See, the act of creation wasn't just about moving from a general idea to a specific thing. The first word actually established a new dynamic system for how reality itself operates.
So, crucially, the Zohar explains that creation isn't a one-way street. It moves from klal, that unified whole, to prat, the revealed detail. But it doesn't stop there. It creates a whole new integrated reality, a dynamic feedback loop, where the whole and the parts exist together, at the same time, constantly enriching each other.
And really, this is the ultimate takeaway. That first word, let there be light, didn't just create light. It established the very system of reality we live in right now, a constant, flowing dance between the concealed unity of all things and the revealed complexity of the world we see. The hidden blueprint and the built world now inform and define each other in one single integrated system.
So that leaves us with a final powerful question to carry with us. If the entire cosmos was created through this exact process, from a silent thought to a carrying voice to articulated speech that literally shapes reality, it forces us to ask, how does our own speech follow that same pattern? How do the words we choose move from a hidden thought in our minds to become a real, tangible force that shapes the world around us? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.